that you're years in. It's just not gonna come like that where you're just automatically able to run around and be free. I feel like in your first 1, 2, 3 years, you're gonna have to put your head down and work more than you were possibly working at your 9 to 5. It's very different. Although I will say everyone's journey is different, but you know. So today, we're about halfway into the day and we have gotten nothing monumental done. Okay? Well, not really. We had our morning meeting, which was good. What do you think about our morning meeting today? Did you enjoy our morning meeting today? Did you feel like there were like pertinent things that we were able to talk about?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So I'm about to head downstairs, which is like, there's a co-working space in my building that I hardly ever use, that I should be using more, because then I get to get out of the house.
Not really.
What? Not really what? I shouldn't be using it more? You don't think?
I wouldn't consider that out of the house. I don't know why you always say like
Listen,
it's out
I'm
of the
an
house.
introvert. If this is you in the comments, let me know. I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert and a homebody, which means I don't do a lot outside.
But it's not outside is what I'm trying to say.
It is outside to me. It's outside of my house, my home, right? So we do have a studio that we use to create, but sometimes I just want to like get outside and just get a different atmosphere, a different space. For me, like even going downstairs, it gives me that different vibe that I need, or that, I don't know, whatever. Okay, it's not going outside, we get it. However, for me, it just does what I need it to do.
Okay, I mean,
so that works for
must
me.
you speak so aggressively?
I'm sorry.
I get it, but it's not outside. It's in your building, so.
Okay, so it's in my building, or even if for me, if I go upstairs, because there's like other creative spaces in the building, like upstairs, that's a different. It puts me in a different mindset or mind frame or whatever that's supposed to be. However, so that's what we're doing today. We're heading down there to get some work done. For me, I just need to get a bit of focused work done, and I feel like I can't do it in here right now, which is why I had an external office before, but that's neither here nor there. One day I'll talk about that. One day. However, yeah, so we already had our morning meeting. We know what we're doing for the day. We know what our goals are, and we're making sure that we're working in alignment with those goals. We're working together today, which is always super exciting. And so about to head downstairs and get some stuff done. And I'm gonna take you guys along with me so that you can kind of see like what else I'm doing. And then I have something I want to share with you guys. Something that I feel like is super important because so many people struggle with it, and I struggled with it myself before. So, all right, let's get into it.
Is today's video sponsored by Windex?
It is sponsored by Windex. I like this one. You know, it has antibacterial properties. It's not. It's sponsored by Thinkific. No, it's not. It's not. It's really not. I'm kidding. It's not sponsored by anything. It's sponsored by Start, Shoot, Grow. Go get our free workshop down below in the description box. It's going to tell you how to use video content in your business to make sure that you're hitting all of your business goals and growing as well with video. Yep. All right. Are you ready? Yep. Oh man, you have your keys?
How do you leave the crib without keys?
I do have.
I don't understand you, bro.
Why don't you understand me? Wow.
You know, they had their little elevator music going.
Yeah,
That
when you have
was,
music, huge tip. When you have music, if you're vlogging or if you're working in a space with music, you could get copyrighted because of the music in the air. So our second floor had music going on, and so yeah, so we came up to the clubhouse instead.
The music in the air, huh? To regular people, the weekend starts on Thursday.
Really?
Yeah, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So, you know, people start hanging out on Thursday. See?
Wow.
If you was a regular person, you'd understand that.
Yeah,
Because you don't.
well, I would love to have Thursdays off.
I'd love to have every day off. Not really. Just, if you could work like 1 day a week, that'd be...
Oh, I want to get it to that point.
That'd be
after a
fire.
while.
Not even one, maybe 2. 2 days a week.
But here's the thing, like people make it sound like when you have your own business or you have an online business, like it's all just, you know, pools and like margaritas and like, you know, don't get me wrong, like me having an online business has allowed me to live a different lifestyle than I was living before. It has allowed me to live in a different way than I was living before, but also like I do work a lot. And although you can get it to a point where, or I'm currently working diligently on that, I actually hired a coach for that specific reason, because I do definitely want to work less, especially because, of course, we're thinking about, you know, starting a family and all those kinds of things. I want to start putting my life into place in order for that to be a bit more ease. But it's definitely not just all margaritas and laying out.
It's actually none of that.
Coffee shops.
Like,
yes.
Well, lots of coffee shops is cool. But,
coffee shops, yes, because you can get work done. But you know,
it's definitely not.
It's not always like what people make it seem. I think that a lot of people, especially me interacting with some of the younger people coming into the online business space, I feel like a lot of them think that I'm going to quit my job and it's going to be pools and fun and all of that stuff. You got to put your years in. You got to put your years. You will get to the point where you can do that, but you got to put your years in. It's just not going to come like that where you're just automatically able to run around and be free. I feel like in your first 1, 2, 3 years, you're going to have to put your head down and work more than you were possibly working at your 9 to 5. It's very different. Although I will say everyone's journey is different, but you know, I don't know. What do you say, Guy?
Yeah, I say the same.
It's a bit of a misconception, right? Like,
yeah, I don't think people understand, because I don't know, just the security of a check.
Yes, there is also security in your check. So, which is why I would say like having a good exit plan would be great. If you do have a job now and you know that I feel like, for me, I'm crazy. I love taking risks and figuring shit out as I go along, right? There, you can use the bleep.
Yeah.
But for me, I wouldn't advise people to do what I do. Like, I actually even moved to Dallas, Texas without knowing, ever being here, ever coming to the South, ever traveling to this part of the U.S. Like, and I loved it, but, you know, I like figuring stuff out. For someone who enjoys security, and don't get me wrong, I do enjoy security as well, right? But for someone who is really like, you really can't afford to, maybe you have a family, maybe you have kids, or maybe you really need a sense of security before you jump and leave your job or quit your job, be very aware that you should have started your business while you're at your job so that, you know, you have your exit plan, or you have saved a cushion of income or a cushion of money so that you can actually take that leap.
What I would...
Yeah,
I don't know.
you recently went through that.
Yeah, you was always more of an entrepreneur. I'm
innately,
you know,
yeah.
I've never been like that. So honestly, to do it all over again, yeah, well. I probably maybe would not have gone the entrepreneur route.
Oh wow! If you could do it over again, like
no, just because you know the word entrepreneur is such like a it's a shiny word.
It is a shiny word
these days, but you know a lot of people don't really know what it is.
That's a good video.
Or whatever the case may be, but I'd say you know work. You know, get a good high paying job. I would say be smart with your money. Just like
is this even seeing me?
Yes, it's seeing you right now.
Sorry.
I would say just invest your money in like things that could make you like passive income, whether that be like dividend stocks and stuff like that, or like, you know, get a few like rental properties and stuff like that so you could get some cash flow.
But what if your job isn't paying you enough to do those kinds of things?
Well, you got to start off slow. So like, I mean,
for some people,
I by no means, and I am not an expert in these things. I just do a lot of research and a bunch of stuff so that when the money does come rolling in, you know what to do with it, you know, because at the end of the day, you still got money coming in. You still have to figure out a way to.
But I do agree with that. Like when you do start a business and you start making a lot of money, yes, you don't just want to save that money and leave it sitting there. You have to figure out like what to do with it. But what if you're the kind of person that can't figure out all at the same time? Like,
I mean, listen, you're gonna have to, or at least find somebody that's like, you know, more advanced in like financial literacy kind of stuff. Just because, like, at the end of the day, you an entrepreneur, you're making another job for yourself. So the same job you're trying to leave, now you done built a cage, and you've caged yourself in this cage, and now you can't get out. So it's like
I agree, but I do feel like it's also the journey as well.
It is the journey.
You build a cage and then you figure out how to get out of it. But
like I said, like I was saying, if you don't figure out how to do those things,
but you can figure it out on the way. Like some people gotta learn it on the way. Like
you can figure it out on the way, but all I'm saying is that you got to figure it out. Like
you do,
and you don't necessarily
in figuring it out.
have to start a business to figure that out. You could work at your job and still figure out a way to get out of it by doing these things that make money while you're not actually there doing the thing or whatever, you know, like even, you know, whatever, buying Bitcoin or something like that. Know when the price is low, you know, keep buying even when the price is going up or whether the price is going down. So anytime it comes back up, you know, you making more bread, whatever the case may be. It's like you wouldn't know to do that just because the same people that's managing your 401ks and stuff like that, they doing the same thing. Yeah. So at least you know what they doing and you doing your part to do the same thing.
And we can even make another video about this specifically, but like what really, do you know your hand is passing in front of the camera?
Yeah, so it's like, this is me, right? You feel me?
Well, your hand should have been there when you were speaking all along.
No, because then it focuses on my hand, so like I try to keep it out.
Yeah,
but this is me, you know, kind of like.
Okay, sir. So this.
It's about you, but it's me, you know.
Okay.
Whatever.
This is the thing. Like even, I just think that there is so much to learn about business. A lot that you cannot completely be prepared for as well. Some things you have to build and keep building as you go along. Some things you will learn as the way, you know, when you go along. When you start your business, the problems you're going to have when you're starting are not the same problems you're going to have when you hit 6 figures or when you hit 7 figures. It's going to be completely different problems that you're having as you go along. So the other lesson in this is that you could never be completely prepared for what you don't know. Sometimes you gotta go through the thing and learn as you go along. Example, you may not be able to give that advice if you didn't completely quit your job as well. You get what I'm saying? So you being on one side.
Oh yeah, the only way to it is through
is to do it. Yes, it's through it. Yes, you can't go around
the same thing. Yeah.
You have to go through the thing. So even if we're telling you specific things, there are also things that you are going to have to learn on your own journey. But what you cannot be afraid to do is be afraid to take the action so that you have lessons on the back end of the action. Because there are some lessons that, for me, I know I'm an Aries. I gotta get burnt to learn. So somebody could tell me all the things in the world and I still gotta go through it in order to figure out, damn.
No, I think that's a lot of people though. Like, I very rarely are there people that can learn from other people's mistakes. Like, they could be like, oh yeah, you know, in theory, this is what you're supposed to do. But, honestly, at the end of the day, it's all theory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, even if you're reading it in a book or something like that.
Now you gotta put your hands back because you're talking.
My bad.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, at the end of the day, you got to prove your theory. You got to prove whether your theory is right or if it's wrong or whatever. You know, scientific theory. You got to go through it to see if it's true or not. So regardless if you're reading out a book or, whatever, whoever your mentors are, you
Yeah.
telling you to do this, do that, whatever the case may be.
You still have to take action.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's something really important. But I think that we had a great conversation based on, I do love that concept of, is the word entrepreneur overused, or?
I just think it's a flashy, shiny word that people like glorify today, but
definitely. For me, I will say, I can't lie to you. When you asked me what I wanted to be as a kid, I would say an entrepreneur. Now, I didn't know what I was going to do as that. And the reason why I would say that is because my dad was. And so for me being a kid, I was like, I would say, by the time I really understood that my dad worked for himself, I was probably around 7 or 8 or 9, somewhere in that bracket. And I looked up to him so much, and looked up to the fact that he was working for himself. And my dad is the hardest worker I know. So it really wasn't the fact that, he was able to take vacations and do all of those things. He was never. Like, honestly, my dad recently probably started making sure that self-care was a priority, and traveling and things like that. Like, he worked really hard. He worked as if he worked for someone else. And you probably heard me say that lots of times on the channel. Like, he works as if he has a boss, even though he didn't have one. And so I kind of adopted that. So I kind of knew that it just was not as easy as people said. And I think that has a huge part to play in my work ethic. But I will say that I also got to learn lessons from him. Like, he worked way too hard. Like, he still works too hard, right? And so I have to kind of pull back and realize, well, I want a different quality of life, or I want, I want a business that probably requires less physical input and things like that. So that's kind of what makes me really love online courses and love building digital products and things like that, because you put the work in and you can keep that running for you. You just got to market it, obviously, right? So, yeah.